Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a little different. I've been getting so many requests on my Instagram to film more LGBT related videos, and I've been thinking about some ideas, and today I really felt like just sitting in front of the camera and just telling you guys my coming out story. I think this is gonna be a long video, so you better grab a snack. And before we get into the video, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm only on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, and they're all Glammedbygigi. And don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. And if you want to know what I'm wearing on my face right now, a list of all the products will be in the description box down below, so make sure you check that out. And yeah, if you want to know how this bitch came out of the closet, then keep on watching. Alright guys, so before I get into the story of me coming out, I just want to tell you more about my early life, about my childhood and all that jazz. So I grew up in a really normal household. I never had like an abusive childhood. Like my parents never beat me or hit me or anything like that. They were really chill, and and now when I think about it, I really believe that I have the best parents anyone could dream of. So the situation in our household was really it wasn't that bad, but all the drama was happening in my school. Like in my school, I was really bullied. I believe that I was the most bullied kid in school, and I was very feminine. I would hang out with girls most of the time, and everyone at school would always make fun of me because I was very feminine, and because I was kind of, my skin tone is darker than everyone else, so they would make fun of me. And I don't even have a dark skin tone, but I was always made fun of. And I was and still am overweight, so that was one more reason to bully me. So it was rough. Like I would wake up on some day and just cry in the morning and tell my mom, like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go to school because it was dark. It was vicious, like, over there. So, I just went to school, and it was very hard. It was a very hard time for me because, like, everyone hated me and I never knew why. So I started channeling my everything that was happening to me, like the bullying and the hate and the self-hate that I was going through. I started channeling all that with food, and I started gaining more and more weight. And like every person has their own way of just reacting to stuff like that. Like some people would cry and be depressed. Some people would cut themselves, and etc. And my way of handling all that was, food. So I started eating more and more and gaining more weight, and I didn't even like my body back then. So when I started gaining more weight, I started hating myself even more. And also growing up at home, I always felt like I always was inspired by my mom, because when she would dress up and put on her makeup and hair and all that to go out, I was always inspired by her and by the way she presented herself, and I would always try to copy her when I would be alone. I would always I would steal her makeup and just play with it and just like take it all off, and then pretend like nothing happened. And I would steal her clothes and put them on and just be silly and walk with heels throughout the house. And my parents never stopped me from doing that. They caught me a couple times, and they never grounded me, they never beat me, they never did anything, they never reacted to that in a negative way. It was always like, you shouldn't be doing that and blah blah blah, and they would, you know, just carry on with the day because they knew I was going through so many things, and that was kind of my escape, or you know, me expressing myself. And they always knew that I was different, that I wasn't like the other kids. Like they would try sometimes, like, you know, on Christmas or stuff, to get me like boy toys, and I just was never attracted to those things. I was always attracted to girly things. I was always attracted to Barbies. I would always convince my aunt to get me Barbies for Christmas. So when I was like 12 or 13 years old, I was with my mom. I was sitting with my mom, you know, at night watching TV and just, you know, having a conversation. And I remember I was going through something at that time. I was having a bad day, and I wanted to tell her about it. So, you know, we were sitting and I was like, Mom, hey, can I tell you something that I've been wanting to tell you? And I wish I could remember what it was, but it was something, you know, I think I was going through something. I think I was having a bad day or something at school or whatever. And I remember I wasn't able to tell her because I was so scared. So I was trying to get it out. So she looked at me and she was like, oh, you want to tell me that you're gay? I already know. I looked at her and I was so shocked, like, how did she know that? I thought like no one knew, and I never like talked about it to anyone, and I didn't even, you know, I was so young. So I looked at her and I bawled out and I started crying, and I told her like, oh my god, and you know, I don't remember, but I was telling her and I was crying and it was so emotional, and it was so emotional. And so anyways, that happened, and you know, started talking and stuff, and we went to sleep and we forgot about it. Like, you know, a couple days had passed and I even forgot about it, and I thought she forgot about it too. So, you know, a couple days later my mom comes to me and she was like, hey, so, you know, in like a couple days I'm taking you to a psychologist so that you can get some help and just feel better. And I looked at her and I was like, what, psychologist? And I didn't even know what a psychologist did. I just knew that because I was always scared of doctors and all that. So I thought, you know, I was going into surgeries and stuff like that. And, you know, I was young. So, you know, a couple days later, we went to our appointment with the psychologist, and I was so scared. It was him, my mom, and I. And, you know, we were talking to him and she was telling him about me and stuff, and I was so shy and so scared, and I was looking, you know, at the floor and so scared, and every time he would ask me something, I didn't want to tell him anything because I was so scared of him judging me and stuff. So, you know, and I had told him that I want to become normal. And I want to be just like the other kids at school, and I just want to be like everyone. And you know, it wasn't only that I was struggling with so many things. I was struggling with confidence. I had zero confidence. I had zero self-esteem. I was very shy. Like, every time I would be talking to someone, I wouldn't be looking them straight in the eye. I was very insecure, and I hated myself. I hated my body. I hated everything about me. And you know, so I started going into therapy, and you know, it was every week, and I was starting to feel a change. I was starting to feel something is changing about me, that I'm becoming another person. And he made me love and accept myself more, and you know, I started changing as a person, and you know, everyone around me was noticing that. And when I was about 14, and I was still in therapy, I started dating my first boyfriend ever, and we were in a relationship for a whole year, and it was, you know, I was very young, but I was very in love. Because, your first one ever is always, very special. So I really fell in love with him, and, a year later we had to break up. And after that, I basically became a hoe. And I started hopping on gay dating apps and started meeting people, and it was basically me just hoeing around with everyone. And that lasted for a good 3 to 4 years, because I was kind of heartbroken from my first ever boyfriend, and I was trying to find love in every single guy I would meet. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that. I was trying to find love in every person, and I would get my heart broken again and move on to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and that's how I spent my life for about 4 years, and it was all secretive. No one knew about it. No one knew about the guys I was dating and everything. I had thought that the therapy would help me to love myself more, but I was still struggling. I was still very insecure, and I was still going through that self-hate, and I always felt like how I looked on the outside is not how I felt on the inside. I always had felt that, but I just didn't know how to express myself, because every time I would try to express myself, someone would tell me, no, you cannot be this, you cannot be that, you are a man, you're supposed to be a man. And I've tried to please those people for such a long time. I tried acting like a straight man. I tried dating women because that's what everyone was telling me to do. And I tried to be manly, to look manly. I grew a beard. And I did so many things that my mind wouldn't just process. I knew this wasn't for me, but I did it just because everyone else wanted me to do it. So one day, I was on YouTube, and I was, watching videos and stuff, and there was this video of a transgender woman, talking about her transition and, about her childhood and everything she had went through. And I related to her on such a personal level. I felt like it was me talking in the video. And I started, looking up more about transgender stuff, because I didn't know anything about, the trans community. I didn't know anything about it. I started doing some research and stuff, and I just felt like I belonged there. And I just knew that I wasn't, I always knew that I wasn't a dude that is into other dudes. I knew that I always felt like a woman, and that I wanted to be a woman on the outside. I had always felt that, but I was too ashamed of telling people that, because I was scared. But I kept it to myself, because I had already come out to the close people around me as gay. And I thought if I would tell them that I'm trans, they wouldn't understand me. They would think I'm crazy. So fast forward to summer 2016, which is almost a year and a half or 2 ago. I had graduated from school. I was free, and it was summer and everything. And I had publicly come out to everyone. And that's when I started wearing makeup, and that's where I started getting more into makeup. And wearing makeup in public, it was very minimal makeup. I wasn't going out with crazy eyeshadow or lipstick. I was going, with boy makeup. You can find, if you scroll down on my Instagram, you can find the old pictures of me with makeup on. I don't want to delete them, because I just want to show my growth as a person. I kind of still had my beard on. I was still growing out my hair, and And you know, I started experimenting more and more with myself, with the way I looked, and now I'm going out like that. I'm still growing my hair out, but that's how that's how I go out now, and I'm not ashamed of that. And now I just feel more comfortable going out like this, and I'm hopefully gonna start my hormone therapy. And you know, but something I didn't really talk about was when I had come out, you know, I had a lot of friends, and you know, when I started going out with makeup and you know, started being more outrageous, I started losing, you know, I lost some of my closest friends because they were kind of ashamed to go out with me, because they were kind of ashamed to be seen in public with me, and you know, whatever. But and you know, I had still the support of some of my close friends, but the point I really want to get to is that not everyone has that. Not everyone has a supportive system around them. I know so many people that tried to come out to their parents and were kicked out of the house for that. You know, not everyone has open-minded and supportive parents or friends or whatever. And coming out is very hard, especially in the more closed-minded and conservative societies like Lebanon or the Middle East or whatever it is. Even, you know, even in the States and in the more and in the more developed and open-minded societies, it's still hard for some people to come out. So what I really want to point out is that even if you're scared to come out to your families, to your friends, to whomever, you have to know that there's a huge community that has your back, that supports you, and that loves you. Even though this community is not supportive at all. I'm gonna have a video about that sometime, because this community is really vicious. There's always gonna be those people that will be supportive and loving of everyone and not judgmental and shady like the rest of the community. And those people you can trust, and you know that they got your back, and that if you're going through hard times, they're gonna be there for you. Because I kind of went through it. When I needed the support of my community, no one was there for me. And I want to be here to make a change. I want to be here to inspire people and to let you know that you can do it too. And I know it's going to be hard for some people, but you have to know that there's always going to be some individuals that are going to be there for you. So I think this video is long enough, and I'm gonna quit rambling. I'm gonna have so many other videos about all of this, you know, later on. So if you can sound off, in the comments down below what you really want me to talk about, I would really appreciate that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found it helpful in any type of way. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one.